taking place. In particular, I think because of the fact that he has essentially built his entire name off of, threatening violence, saying that he wanted to pack people out, claiming that he won 10 fights in a row in jail. He never claimed that he put a carrot in his butt, but we all kind of, or in someone else's butt. We all kind of know that he probably did. And it took the internet by storm. And it was even crazier that it was 4th of July weekend. Everybody had plenty of time on the internet. Everybody's looking at their phones, hanging out with their families. And all of a sudden we find out that someone who in many people's minds was the most viral No Jumper host of all time, many would say, was now a man without a hand. And there were a lot of insensitive reactions to it that I'm sure we all saw. It was hard not to acknowledge the hypocrisy of the fact that many of us in this room, particularly this couch, have spent a lot of oxygen making fun of other people who are missing limbs.
It happens.
It's a hip-hop thing. I'm just going to blame it on that. That being said, for extra, missing a hand, apparently still does not have his vision completely back. I do believe a large percentage of it is back, and that he's not going to be living his life as a blind man, which is, to be honest with you, we find out that he blew his hand off. 40 minutes later, they're telling me he's blind. I spent many hours thinking that he was blind and missing a hand before I was finally assured that, to some extent, his vision is coming back.
Well, is the blindness caused by the explosion, or was it or is that more like a trauma reaction that the body just?
No, it was the explosion. From what I heard, he was actually in the car and he was lighting the firework, about to throw it out the window, and his homie was driving, and that's why his homie, I think, may have lost an ear, this part of his face, and an eye. Now, I'm not even 100% sure who the friend is. I don't know if it's somebody that he's ever, brought to the office or somebody that I've ever spent time around.
What they had done?
But, damn. And then in addition, for extra, I think it being, contained was probably worse for whatever happened to his vision, because of the fact that they were in a car, and I guess the window was probably down, but the roof and everything is going to kind of contain the blow.
Damn.
I don't know. I mean, I'm taken aback. Like last night, because I was in Palm Springs for 4 days away on a little vacation with the family, right? And so I didn't have any weed. I just had a little tiny weed pen. I forgot my spliffs. Damn. When I get home last night at 10, I smoke a spliff. I get really, really, really high. Then I go and I lay in bed, and my high brain was just so overwhelmed by the fact that this is our reality. Already being such a famous gang member, a famous icon in this space, somebody that the people are so intrigued by, they'll just click on hearing him talk about so many different things. And now to know that a large part of his claim to fame is gone, I mean, I honestly kind of feel like I just lack the words to even describe how crazy and shitty and messed up the situation is,
Have you spoke to him?
I have not. I sent him a voice note. I've been speaking to Lupe. It's like a group chat with me, Lupe, and Whack and Remo that has been kind of our main way that we've been finding stuff out. I know Remo's hopped on the phone with Lupe a couple times, but I have not actually spoken to him, although I offered to go to the hospital this morning and was told that he's not going to be having guests at this time. And then I did see Kevin Gates there, so that was
shows you where you stand.
That was a little troubling. No, and
that was like a day ago.
That was like yesterday. The same. Yeah. I offered to come today, but anyway, Whack was in the group chat, so Whack was tripping on Lupe, like, how dare you let Kevin Gates go there and Adam can't go there. I'm like, damn, I wouldn't have even thought to raise a stink about that, but I guess we might as well go around the room. What are your thoughts on For Extra now being without a hand?
Damn. So you did lose his hand.
Well, obviously there's this the elephant in the room is the whole poetic aspect about it. You know what I mean? This is the guy that has been what, from people's perspective, kind of bullying people with the threat of his hand. You know what I mean? He's never imposed that threat on me. He's always been super kind to me. You know what I mean? Nice guy, dope person, horrible thing to happen. But just the fact that this is a guy known for his hands, instilling fear, had the whole incident with Unc, you know what I mean?
When there was a thumbnail that had him standing up next to Unc with a red circle around his hand. Never have I ever felt more like I'm living in a simulation.
Yeah, no, it's like that was my first takeaway beyond anything else is like No Jumper is not real. There's no possible way that Faux Extra lost his hand. There's no way that I do a podcast with Munchie B every Tuesday and Ralphie the Plug every Friday. There's no way that's actually a thing. You know what I mean? There's no way any of this is real. It's not real. I don't believe it.
I mean, so did it really burn fast, or was he holding in the car trying to throw it at the right spot and just held it too long?
They're saying that
throw it and it bounced back, or
they're saying it was a dirty batch and they were going a lot quicker than expected.
We have any other situations with dirty batches this weekend in LA?
So per my understanding, in that like group of friends, there was 3 different incidents where
it went off too quickly.
Wow.
Where it went off too quickly.
Really?
Yeah. So that wasn't the even within those guys hanging out.
I am
my
hesitant.
homie's cousin was with them all day.
I've seen a lot of people pushing a conspiracy theory that like the Mexicans are trying to take the blacks out by selling them faulty fireworks. I feel like that's far too much of a leap to a conclusion that based without evidence, it just seems like kind of an absurd claim to make.
But to the masses, it's crazy. Now, like, I don't like this guy, sell him this box. Maybe, but we're gonna sell all these, and we're only gonna hit a couple incidences.
Yeah, and we're gonna take out our rival race by blowing off their appendages.
I've seen a lot of
seems unlikely.
I've seen a lot of pictures similar to the Faux Extras one, and it's normally a Mexican in the picture. You feel me? Like they get in the most, like, because they're the fireworks plug. You feel me?
Or a trailer park white guy.
Or a trailer park white guy, 1,000%.
One of the two.
Yeah. It's not normally like a South Central gang member. But like at the end of the day, I feel like people are just being super insensitive about it, and I get it. And I feel like the groups of people that people are going to be the most insensitive towards in situations like this are gang members, rappers, and podcasters. And he happens to check all 3 boxes.
But for the most part, the ones that he really had beef with, like, didn't really say anything crazy, right? Like Jap 5 and
Jap 5 was respectful about it, yeah. But then somebody like X4 couldn't bring himself to be chill about it. But then Munchie B in our group chat kind of made it clear that he wasn't really planning on joking about it or anything like that. But then meanwhile, somebody like T-Rail, who again is missing an appendage of his own, he had a bunch of jokes that he made about it and everything. I mean, and that was part of it too, is like, there's a lot of people who seem like they probably would not have distanced him in a world in which he had his right arm.
Did somebody else lose a limb? Who was that guy you said? He said who lost up his appendages? What the hell? So this has happened before. Well, why they keep lighting them shit? So apparently what that guy said is this happened before. So if it's happened before, why the fuck would you keep lighting the shit and y'all blowing? So, yeah, that's crazy. Why would you keep doing it if the shit already happened before? They said that this happened before amongst their whole crew. It was bad batches of M80s. And this happened before the Faux Extra lost his hand. If you saw that happen, what the fuck? Why would y'all keep fucking with that shit then? Yeah, somebody lost the ear. Did he? I'm on my stream, guys who watching right now on this video. Check out my streaming channel, No Face City, on YouTube, No Face City. But yeah, I have Diddy on my live right now. I'm chatting right now. He's asked me questions about the whole Faux Extra thing. This thing has made news. Diddy even talking about it in my chat. So everybody knew about this Faux Extra thing. This thing has made him more famous than, he was already kind of like low-key underground internet famous. You know, the Crip gamer guy that got hands and they can rap. But now this is just people who didn't know who he is know because he lost his hand, blowing up, playing with, playing with fireworks and shit. That's this shit made news. I'm pretty sure he's not going to be on camera for a while. But and then he lost his eyesight, which is that shit was strong. For him to lose his damn eyesight, shit. I'm gonna get back into it, y'all.
Arm, but now that his fist is gone, people are, seemingly much more open to making jokes about it, which I've seen a lot of people saying is very, very cowardly.
No, if you wanted to find him, Vernon to Western to Fig, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you wanted to find him.
30s to the hundreds.
Right?
I don't think he's gonna be outside for a while. And his homeboy lost his ear and his eyeball. It blew his eyeball out. I'm like, what kind of firework they had? And why was they lighting this shit in the car? So even if y'all drop it, y'all can't get out the car fast enough. They said that as soon as they lit it, it went too fast. He probably had it at an angle where the heat probably went right to the firework and just bam. You
know where he at.
I feel like Brandon's going to have like a...
Break it down, Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon's going to tell us why.
What's the nuanced take?
There's no nuanced take. Just basically like between 9 and 12,000 incidents happened with fireworks or munitions is what he had, like explosive, going off prematurely on the 4th of July nationally. What's going on there to just like really shed some light on it? Basically, it's the way they're storing it. There are M1000s. They're stored in like cases. Some may have gunpowder actually leaking out of them. And if that gets on like the wick that you light, it causes it to disintegrate instantly versus a slow burn like it's supposed to. You're supposed to light the end, it slowly burns down, and you get about 30 seconds before it goes off.
Yeah, all the videos I watched, it took a while for them to go off.
I went and watched a bunch of videos too. And so, and the way you're supposed to do that is you're supposed to put it on the ground, then light it, then move out of the way. Even the way 4Extras was handling the explosive, keeping them in his hands. They probably were falling on the ground, picking them back up, all this stuff. It just was a recipe for disaster. Anytime you're trying to throw that stuff, you're not supposed to throw it. Even when you watch them blow up mines and stuff, they are far away already. And then it blows up. So it's just ignorance. You know what I'm saying? Like not really understanding what he was dealing with.
But it may have been faulty as well.
No, I'm saying
that's why it was faulty. Essentially, right? I
don't think the M1000 was faulty in itself. I believe that these things are not being stored properly. The people who are selling these things, they're getting them, they're throwing them in their trunk, and then they're just selling them to the community with no safety. But
you gotta respect that too. It's like a gun, bro. Like you can't just think it's a toy and I'm gonna go have fun. Like you gotta have a level of respect for those too.
No, straight. What about beforehand? Like
that's crazy.
Literally first. It's like a few moments later. The first clip was him being like, "I'm gonna blow him up with this shit." Like, where the ops at? Like, but what?
Like, that's crazy.
And in reality, like we know 4Extras about that life. I'm not saying he's.
But he's around when he says,
100%.
I'm gonna go blow somebody's head off with this or whatever.
Yes.
It's like
about what life?
Well, like
he's a fader, not a shooter. In gangs, there's different.
He did 10 years in prison for shooting up somebody.
Yeah, but he's still a fader, not a shooter. A shooter is not talking about I'm fighting and doing none of that. Most shooters don't even want to catch fades inside jail. What I was going to say was the most ignorant part is why are you lighting M1000s in a car? Of every video that I watched, which is over 100 videos just for research purposes,
100.
Nobody was attempting to light this in a car. There were even people getting their hands blown off, and at least they were outside. People blowing things. People use these things to blow stuff up, like cabinets.
Well, it's like like it's pretty normal when it's kids.
When have you ever seen someone like? I'm asking you this question.
No.
When have you ever seen someone light a firework in a car?
Never. Like to be honest with you, an M1000. I don't even really think I've seen too many
even
of those.
the little safe little ones. You've never think about in your life. You've never seen someone attempt to light any type of firework inside a vehicle. This is a new level of ignorance that we've achieved.
Well, I will say that I'm a person, and as far as this just seeming like weirdly, I don't know if poetic is the word, but just weirdly like cryptic how this all went down. Right before I found out, I had been having a conversation with my mom on vacation, and my mom said, "Oh, I knew that you were my son when you were, 7 years old, and we were going to go to the fireworks, and you said that you thought fireworks were stupid and you didn't like fireworks." And then like 20 minutes later, I found out that my friend blew his hand off with fireworks. I'm personally someone who's never really been that fascinated by them, in the sense that, okay, you spend a bunch of money on them. I've known people throughout the years who are going and spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on fireworks, and then it makes a loud noise. There's some bright colors or whatever, and then that's kind of it. To me, this is just not something that I ever really saw as like all that fascinating. But if you know 4Extra, I mean, his attitude towards the fireworks, and we didn't really know this about him since we never seen him on the streets for a 4th of July, but he's like a kid in the candy shop. Like, right. When it comes to the fireworks, this to him is sensory overload. He loves it. He thinks it's the funniest, coolest, best thing ever. And now he's going to spend the rest of his life as a man with just one hand.
Well, because also, like, this is a guy that doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. I feel like he's somewhat of an adrenaline junkie. And I kind of got that vibe when we were doing the go-karts a few days ago. Josh can attest, like, 4Extra was definitely, obviously, as usual, the life of the party, and was very, like, he was really into the whole go-kart thing and trying to, smack into people. And
so we still have that vlog ready to release. So when that comes out, don't expect him to be an amputee. He's already.
What if he never? What if he
pre-incident?
What if he just like never had a childhood like that, and like so when he does, he gets to kind of do childish things. Like he has like now an abundance of resources, I guess, because of how handsomely Adam pays him. Maybe he's just like living out all his like childhood fantasies, going go-kart racing, and I
don't know exactly what his childhood was like. Like, I don't know how rough it was, or if that kind of began later.
So what if? But the biggest thing that shocked me was that GoFundMe. Like, bro actually got money. I didn't expect that.
I think he's at $8K right now.
I didn't expect him to get $200, literally.
Well, I guess it's like, I mean, like how fancy is he going with this limb replacement? Is he going full cyborg hand? Is he finna have a Metroid blaster like Samus Aran? Like what are we doing here? Because potentially, even if he has just metal fingers that are, and there's some way
to get metal fingers. He's just gonna have a
couple fingers.
Who do we even know with metal fingers?
Why, it's the wrist, or he still has a couple fingers in like the hand, kind of.
Well, look, if it's 2025,
allegedly it's this.
Yeah, that right.
Like
hang loose.
Yeah, it was a Hawaii thing or something, right? That's what they say.
Hawaii,
yeah, they'll make him like a rubber sleeve that slides on his hand, so it looks like it just blends in. And if he has any hand tattoos, they'll put him on that thing.
Or I feel like he's going to be one of these guys. I was assuming like he'll just kind of keep, once the bandages come off or whatever, I feel like he'll keep it tucked up in there. Like, I don't know, because obviously the idea of him just like flaunting his nub is like crazy to imagine. I don't think he's going to be showing whatever he's got left off.
Doing erotic scenes with Kazumi with the nub.
Well, a lot of people, the Swamp Stories posted that on Instagram, like Will Adam 22 allow 4Extra to fuck his wife with his new nub, and some people are just sick. Like Swamp Stories, come on.
You ever heard that joke?
This guy just had a song where he said he jerks off to his best friend's wife.
I mean, that's worse. I masturbate to my friends. That's the sexiest. So that just could.
Is that about me?
That's weird.
No, it's about.
I wouldn't even tell nobody that. Why would you even tell somebody that? Now I don't even want you on my wife no more. Why would you even tell anybody that? Like, you know what I'm saying? You my boy. No, you can't come over no more then, nigga. I wouldn't even say nothing like that. I would have kept that to myself. That's not even funny. I jack off to my friend's wife. Like, no, we can hang. You know what? You can't even hang no more. If I'm married, if I love my wife, boy, you know what? We can hang, but you can't come out of the house no more. Hell no, you can't. When we hang out, it's gonna be me and you, and that's it. You ain't coming to my kids or my wife. You tell me you've been jacking off to my wife. That's strange, fool. But yeah, he just got to get 4Extra the whole thing with his hand. He just got to get rehabilitated into. Like I said, he got to get. So I guess it's been confirmed from what Adam 22 was saying that he actually did lose his whole hand. He lost his entire hand. So, and he was lighting the firecracker in a car, in a moving car. But they do that out here in LA. They'll ride by, light an M80 and throw it out the window. They do that out here. I've seen them do it. These youngsters, these young little street LA kids, black and Mexican, it ain't just black folks. They will ride through the hood, and I've seen them do it. They'll light a firecracker and throw it out the window and keep rolling, and then bone out. And then bam, you know. But yeah, but it's stupid to do that. As you can see, his homeboy lost one of his eyes. That shit must be was strong. I didn't even know they had a M1000. So that must be what 4 Extra had. He probably had he pretty much had a stick of dynamite. Almost a stick of dynamite he had. You know? That was crazy. And the fact that this happened before, and I've never been, I'm like Adam 22. I've never really been a big fan of fireworks. I mean, I used to like them when I was a kid. I used to like to see them go up in the air. I've never been a fan of like the loud, like cherry bombs or like the M80s. Because it was just annoying, loud, you know what I'm saying? It rack your nerves. I never liked those damn things. I never saw what's the purpose of this loud, and just a loud blast, just annoy everybody and scare people. Like, I just could not understand why people would use M80s. I just never liked them.
Out you.
Cherry bomb.
Not as sexy as.
Now you gotta make it.
I just thought it was the
I've been
creepiest
researching
thing I could possibly
I mean,
say.
if you wanted to jerk off to like most people's wives, you would be short of material by which to do so.
Yeah.
If you wanted to jerk off to my wife, there's plenty of stuff out there.
But that's the thing that like it kind of wasn't about Adam. It was more like about like the homies' wives that are more.
Can you
regular
stop
and
lying?
Square. No, like
Can you
feel
stop?
me? Like the homies' wives that have no.
Well, it's
Why
probably
would I
about
not say I?
If you say you
think
jerk
I'll
off
be
to
a-
my homie's wife,
You think I'd
there's
be
only
embarrassed if I?
there's only
Are you
there's
serious?
only
Professional.
one there's only one person that you know whose wife you could see in a vulnerable way to an appealing way to where you could even jerk off. Like
I got a twist
this
in
is
mind, Brandon.
clearly aligned
I
to
don't
this
give a
guy.
shit. You can
Yeah,
fly
he
doesn't
me
care.
all day.
Yeah,
But he's trying to like walk it
No,
back.
it wasn't about him.
He was
That's the-
definitely inebriated when he rapped that shit.
My girl did think it was about Adam. Just
Everyone knows it.
But-
Think.
but it was like low key more about people like you, like
I mean,
my
she
regular
is
friends
busting
that
down
My wife is
have
hot,
on
though.
camera.
That's what I'm saying. That's who it was more about.
R&B.
Type. You feel me?
Yo.
Like
I would produce rope to R&B if she had OnlyFans.
that's what I'm saying. Like
Everybody here pretty much
Yeah,
has a
homies.
hot wife.
Oh, you probably beat off to Negra.
whoa,
Who's Negra?
whoa. I
Icons wife.
feel
That's
attacked right
violation.
now.
Who was that? Who was Negro? Anyway. Yeah, that's a sad way to go, man. Sorry about your homeboy losing his hand. That is a sad way to go. Jesus. Damn. I was hoping that Adam would have said that he only lost 2 fingers and it wasn't that big of a deal. Not saying it wasn't that big of a deal, but he lost 2 fingers. He was able to sew it back on. You know, they was able to find the fingers. I thought maybe that what Adam was getting ready to lead with, but unfortunately not. Homeboy lost his whole freaking hand. The worst I thought, okay, he lost his whole hand. His other homeboy lost his ear. That shit was strong. And lost his eyesight in one eye. That must be that shit. That whoever that you know what, that probably was the M1000. I didn't even know they had an M1000. That was what they had. They must be had, yeah. Cause that's a lot of damage. Y'all missing body parts and shit. That's a strong ass blast. You know. For real, man. Hope he get well. Hope everything works out for 4 Extra, man. I like I said, I met him one time. Cool dude. Cool guy when I met him. Yeah, I'm not too far from Vernon. So yeah, I met him, you know what I'm saying? I met him probably like maybe, this is recent. I met him probably like maybe 6 months ago. But no, I didn't know him, Diddy. I'm on my chat, y'all. Check out my chat too. I got Diddy on my chat right now on No Face City. That's my YouTube streaming network. But no, Diddy, I didn't know him. I ran into him at the weed shop, and I said, "Oh yeah, you homeboy from Adam 22?" He said, "Hey, yeah, what's up, man?" We started talking, I just took a picture of him because I figured I would talk about it as content. You know, being that he's an internet guy, figured I would talk about me meeting him, and that you know, being that he's big on social media, that would kind of help my channel. You know what I'm saying? It didn't really do much, but nice dude though, really nice guy. You know what I'm saying? But he blew up from social media. Anyway, what do y'all think about this video, man? Leave the comments, subscribe to Charles Hernandez World. Hit the thumbs up button.